A round of applause sounds like? Yes, that's what it sounds like. All right. So welcome, everybody. Have a seat, have a seat. So we're going to introduce you now with a statement from each of you, starting off with the sustainable lead at Capgemini Germany, Lucas Byrne, who says, in our race to net zero, strategy is no longer enough. We must deliver tangible results today. Lucas, great to have you with us.
Thanks.
Also joining us is the head of sustainability at Siemens Digital Industries, Erin Devola. And she says the right technologies are available, and by leveraging the industrial ecosystem, industry can be the game changer and make sustainability a reality. We'll see about that. Thank you very much, Erin. Great for having you with us. Also with us today is a member of the board of Pyrum Innovations AG, and his name is Michael Kapf. And he says, with Pyrum, we are making a decisive contribution to the transformation of the economy towards a sustainable circular economy. Thank you for joining us also. And right next to me is the CEO of Process Automation, Siemens, Axel Lorenz. Thanks for taking your time to be with us here. Through technology with purpose, we're accelerating the sustainable transformation of process industries and reducing environmental footprint to maximize our contribution to planetary health. Thank you for joining us, Axel. So, first off, great to have you all on board here. How's everybody feeling today? So far, so good?
Fine, yes.
Yeah? All right. Okay. So we'll get right into the first question. Sustainable industries. Might sound trivial, but why do we need them? I mean, what are the trends? What are the challenges? Erin, maybe you want to start it off?
Yep. So good morning, good afternoon. Really great to talk to everybody today. I think the thing that we talk so much about right now when we talk about sustainability is decarbonization, which is very important. But I want to draw our attention in this panel a little bit more to our overall impacts. This year, in 2022, we used more of the natural resources that the Earth provides by July 29th. So we couldn't get all the way through the year. It took 1.75 Earth's worth of resources to keep us going. We really need to rethink how we're using resources, not just how we're generating carbon. Carbon is very important, but so is water, so is other material resources that we really drive through. And as we look at manufacturing and industry, we play a really big role, and therefore we have a really big opportunity to make an impact. And we can do this in a number of ways. The first is we start to look at our inputs. Where are we getting things from? Are we using material that's environmentally friendly, that's free from substances, and that has been used for maybe the second or third time? Then we look at our overall process, and we really need to optimize all the resources we're using along that value chain. And then looking at those outputs, how do we extend lives? How do we make products last longer, perform better, and then intrinsically be more sustainable? And this is a lot of our focus. And that's really great for greenfield, but we also have a lot of brownfield. We've generated a lot of waste over the last 100 years, and a lot of that waste is still sitting places. In fact, only 13% of global waste is recycled. And so we have a big waste problem that we need to address already.
Wow, you wrapped your head around that, that's for sure. How about Lucas? Do you have anything to add?
And maybe I think sustainability needs honesty. So maybe let's start with some honesty from Capgemini's side. So we made a bold statement and shifted our net zero goal from 2030 to 2040. So some might think, what's bold, shifting it 10 years later? This is because what is net zero? And there is maybe, science-based targets, and it's saying first you reduce 95% and only the rest is offsetting. And at Capgemini, we are now including everything, commuting and working from home as well. This, as we all know, is a big portion. And I think having this transparency, what do you mean with net zero with carbon neutral, etc.? I think that's key to really understand where we are.
Anything else to add here? Or we'll go on to the next question. Basically, it's all about the circular economy, which is a buzzword, kind of, I guess we could say. Lucas, maybe you could tell us, what does it really mean? And how can this be implemented?
I think Angela Merkel said the internet is new to us. And sometimes I have the feeling circular economy is new to us. No, it's not. It's decades old, but now it's really getting focus. And I think you mentioned the output number. So I think we are both mechanical engineers, I found out. Yeah. And it's about all systems thinking. And if you're a system, you have an input and you have an output. And there is a so-called circularity gap report. And it has this the bad number of 7.2%. This is the circularity of the world. And it's defined how much non-virgin material are we using compared to everything. So that's the number. And that's the sad number, that it's going actually down and not up. And I think that's where we have to look at. As you mentioned, its circularity is use less, use it longer, use it again, and that's your thing, make it clean. And I think we really have to focus it and not focus on, how can we do recycling? That's the last option. Yes. But using less right products, I think that's the key.
All right. So right from the design phase, basically, I guess that's where it starts. Lucas, you talked about the need to get active now, and that's exactly what your company is basically doing, yes. Pulum Innovations. What are your thoughts? So 3 questions right from the start. What are your thoughts on circularity? How can the chemical industry play a crucial role in saving resources and reducing waste at the same time? And how are you implementing this at Pulum, and to what results?
Yeah. First of all, you are right. Circular economy is now a buzzword. We started 2008, and at this time, this was less important than today. Mm-hmm. We see that because we transfer waste, end-of-life tires, to new raw materials.
Okay.
Yes. We have a patented reactor system. We developed a machine, a plant, that can transform rubber granulate into 3 products. Oil, which we sell to BASF, for example. And out of this oil, they produce new products. Mm-hmm. With other partners like Mercedes-Benz, mm-hmm. the new door handles of the S-Class in the future are made out of our oil. Okay. And the outdoor clothing manufacturer VD is producing clothes out of our oil. And now at the moment we are finished with our technology. We have a readiness now, and it's on time, because as we started, the world was different. Now all the big players, the global players, come to us and ask for our products because they want all to use recycled materials instead of the fossil raw materials.
And you have the experience now.
Now we have the experience. We are running our plant now since 3 years.
Right.
And now we are building 2 new lines in Dillingen at our site. And of course, we are planning to roll out our technology in Europe and in the end worldwide, because end-of-life tires are a very big problem for our planet. There are at the moment no solutions for that.
Right.
They are burned or they are exported to Africa, and we have the solution. And your question was, what can the industry do?
Right.
And how important is it? It's very important to have big partners as a startup who help such startups with good ideas to roll out their technologies.
Obviously, a great idea.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely, and we all need to support them. But to the point of honesty, the price of the feedstock went up, mm-hmm. and the price of carbon emission goes up. Mm-hmm. And then there's a startup who says, "Well, I have a carbon neutral footprint," which is very interesting because the difference in pricing has reduced, mm-hmm. while the others went up, and the sustainability impact comes because your feedstock is carbon neutral, others are not. And this is why now they have a much better chance in the market than they had before.
Go ahead. Yeah, go for it, Erin.
And this is really the type of innovation you need. One of the things that people talk about around sustainability is, can I profit from it? Is it going to give us the economic returns that our shareholders are expecting? And the truth is, it can with innovation. There are plenty of examples where people are able to produce in a cleaner, more sustainable way, and generate just as much or more revenue.
So you obviously have a circular economy business model. Why do you think other companies out there struggle? Why do industrial companies struggle to implement?
Yeah, it's very hard to grow, because if you develop a shopping app, for example, then you can grow without intense capital mm-hmm. investments. And we are in the industry sector, and it takes a lot of money to build such a plant. We have to struggle with bureaucracy because we have a new technology, and authorization was a problem in the beginning. And also, everybody was laughing about us. We were a few young students in the early 20s, and we said, now we have a solution for the end-of-life tire problem. And
Not everybody was laughing.
not everybody was laughing because, but even now we have now a solution. We can this confirmed technology, but we have to roll out our technology now.
Maybe because how hard is it to find companies like that, though? You're saying, I mean, yeah, it's great when you come across these kind of business ideas that you'd like to collaborate with and say, hey, they have something, but that doesn't happen too often, or does it?
Well, the tendency to really look out for those companies and the openness to support is growing because the need to do something is growing.
Okay.
So everybody is more open to say, hey, how can we help? How can we... actually want to be on board. I mean, come on, I'm very proud that they are using our products to automate their production. So, hey, we want to be part of it.
It's kind of like a positive feedback loop.
It is.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
Go, both.
I just
both.
wanted to... Oh, sorry.
No, you first.
Aaron, go for
So
it.
I get the ladies first advantage here on the panel. The one thing I did want to mention is that at Siemens, we really focus a lot on our digitalization and automation and what we can do for infrastructure, but we also have an arm of our business called Siemens Financial Services, where we have funding that can help smaller startup companies, medium-sized business enterprises scale the work that they're doing. And they helped us work with the vertical farm that you see at the back of our booth today at 80 acres to do some of that work. So it's a way that we can help find those opportunities to really help companies and innovation scale.
Good point there. Lucas?
And I think big companies, both Siemens and Germany, are big companies. They are not sufficient for sustainability. We need the small, pushy companies, and we as a kind of enablers helping you to hopefully save the world. Yeah.
So, Michael, maybe you could tell us what was helpful for you, and what do you think could be helpful for other companies like Pyrum in order to actually implement such a sustainability approach?
Yeah, of course, you need a good team,
right?
Good employees, and what we also need, and other startups, are strong partnerships with global players like Siemens, BASF, Continental, because they have the power to move something in this industry. And especially Siemens, we have a partnership with them. And now we are creating digital twins for development with new plants. And yeah, you need a strong brother to go through this journey.
Looking at Axel, I guess, here on that side, and Aaron on the other. Now, Axel, maybe you could tell us what industrial solutions are available to support circularity on the one side, and how can Siemens help chemical industries, chemical plants, in their efforts to achieve more sustainability?
Well, I'd like to try to do it Lucas' way. Use less. If you have been listening to the presentation earlier, our colleagues from the Experience Center were here. They said most of the energy wasted is air, pressure.
Yeah, that's right.
Air.
Yeah.
So redesign our products because we have a new positioner who's using 70% less air than the average module is doing in the market. And they were talking about leakage. Well, a positioner in a chemical plant is a permanent leakage because it's permanently controlled off and on, off and on, off and on, close, open, close, always a little bit, never get stuck, always move a little bit. By reducing that pressured air, we do reduce energy right away. We have to create transparency because our customers also need to know what is the life cycle consumption, what is the documentation of your products. We have to talk about the design. The Z part is one part of it. A new controller using only 50%, less than 50% of the energy is another one because those products live lifelong, years, decades without interruption. Little pieces. Then our production, we have to do our part so that our customers get carbon neutral products. But then, let's face it, if we go to the chemical industry and say, take this wonderful new feedstock, they look at us and said, that's a different feedstock. Is that always the same? Well, depends on the company you buy it from. It depends on the startup you buy it from. How do I control that? If the feedback stock is variable, then actually, if the energy prices are kind of variable, how do I find a new control regime? And this is where we come back to the theme of to say, really, it is about digitalization and automation. With creating a digital twin face it, even if it's a brownfield plant, if we drive it with a new feedstock, if we want to do different and more adjusted operation regimes, it's more like a first of its kind. How do they operate? So this is where we come and say, we help you with software and with automation. We help you to create a digital twin. We help you to simulate. And I'm not talking about simulation about how does a reactor behave on the outside that we can do a better optimization? How does the reactor behave on the inside? How does the electrolyzer behave? We can simulate that. And we're showing this at this fair.
Right over here.
This is one
example of batteries.
But
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And this is how we create a digital twin, how we help to optimize control with the products we have, and how we help the industry to get closer to those targets. It is available. We probably have to increase the effort to multiply the good examples that we have. If there's one thing we as Siemens could do is we could help scale. And this is what we need to do. Yeah.
Thank you very much for that, Axel. Next question goes to Aaron. We've been talking a lot about what we need in order to move towards this transformation. But where do you see the greatest lever in order to drive circularity and also more sustainability in industries?
So 2 quick things I'll talk about here. The first is that most of the environmental impacts of the product are determined during that conceptual phase, during that design concept, during that production concept. So the sooner you can think about that, the more you can put those factors, that water usage, that material usage, the toxicity, all of that into your design plan, the bigger lever that you have to really impact. But I will say that once you're in a brownfield situation, the biggest lever you have is your ecosystem, the number of partners you're working with, the people that you can find to partner with. No one entity, no one company can solve the world's sustainability problems. It will require and does require us all to work together in a much more fundamental way.
Anything from Capgemini's side?
Maybe just dropping one number. So 55% of the greenhouse gases are caused by extraction or transformation of resources. And this is why resources are so important. It's not let's leave carbon emissions aside, but that's the combination of emissions and resources. No.
So in closing, look at that, 20 minutes.
Just like that.
Just like that. But maybe tell us, what do you think about, if you think about the next 5 years in regards to sustainability? Anybody want to start it off?
I start with, I have a dream that we exist in 5 years, but not in our function. So that sustainability will really be part of the normal procedures of a company. So we're still there, but with different roles. Yeah.
I'll add to that. I think that circularity in particular relies on us using things longer, and that really will require some business model transformation. McKinsey had reported recently that in the next 3 years, 65% of all products will be used differently or sold differently in the future. So I think I really do agree with them and see some business model innovation coming.
How about you, Michael?
Yeah, I also hope that we use our waste as a resource, because it is a resource, and we need more technologies that can transform this waste into this valuable raw materials. And I think there are a lot more than Pyrum outside. And yeah, I hope that will go on.
Your company is the best example. And?
Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm all excited. I do see the challenge. I understand we have to act now. There's a solution. We have technology with purpose. If we combine that with Siemens Accelerator, helping our customers to digitalize in every dimension and help them to scale, we can master that challenge. And we even can do that as a technology company. I love it.
I love that also, and I love that as a closing statement. What a positive outlook. The full package here on stage when it comes to how to move from linear to circular economy. Let's give them a big round of applause here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us.